our presentation. We will be discussing pressure injuries in long-term care facilities, specifically focusing on Villa Colombo Seniors Care. This presentation will cover why this issue was chosen, its significance with the Canadian healthcare system, and the solutions we aim to implement as a nurse leaders to improve patient outcomes.
We've chosen pressure injury as our topic because it is a serious health concern not only in the hospital but also in a long-term care settings. They cause significant pain, reduce the quality of life, and can lead to severe complications, including infections and prolonged hospitalizations. Despite the preventive measures that has been applied in the past decades, these injuries remain prevalent, necessitating improved strategies for prevention and management.
Pressure injuries are a pressing issue in Canadian healthcare due to their impact on patient well-being and healthcare resources. According to the Healthcare Quality Ontario, the provincial benchmark for pressure ulcer incidence is 1%, but at Villa Colombo, the incidence rate was 2.5% in 2022 and 2023. Addressing this issue aligns with national healthcare priorities, including enhancing long-term care quality and reducing hospital admissions.
Hello everyone, these are the evidence-based strategies for preventing and managing stage 3 and 4 pressure ulcers in Villa Colombo Senior Center, Vaughan Incorporated. For prevention, risk assessment, repositioning, support services, nutrition, and skin care. Patient and caregiver education, healthcare provider education. For assessment, comprehensive skin assessment, assess risk factors, and document and monitor progress. Treatment, dressings, debridement, pain management, surgical intervention, and management of infections. To evaluate outcomes, we will use both qualitative and quantitative data. For quantitative data, we will gather incidence rate of pressure ulcers and frequency of pressure injury assessments. Lastly, compliance with best practices. For qualitative data, we will gather staff feedback through surveys or interviews, and patient and family feedback. How we know it's an improvement. The evaluation will compare baseline data, pre-intervention, and follow-up data, post-intervention, to determine if the incidence of stage 3 and 4 pressure ulcers has decreased. We will also assess improvements in staff knowledge and patient outcomes through pre- and post-intervention surveys and assessments. If the incidence rate is reduced to 1.5% and there is improved compliance with the preventive measures, we will consider the intervention successful.
Several barriers may hinder implementation, requiring strategic solutions. Staffing constraints can limit the frequency of repositioning and skin assessments, impacting patient care. To address this, training all staff members and ensuring effective role delegation can improve efficiency and ensure consistent implementations. Second, resistance to change. As some staff may be reluctant to adopt new protocols, providing ongoing education and demonstrating the benefits of these changes can encourage compliance and engagement. Additionally, resource limitations, such as lack of pressure relieving devices, can hinder effective prevention measures. Advocating for funding and reallocating available resources can help bridge this gap and ensure necessary equipment is accessible. The impact of this initiative extends to staff, leadership, and patients alike. Staff will gain improved knowledge and skills in pressure injury prevention, enhancing job satisfaction and overall efficiency, Leadership will benefit from better patient outcomes, which positively reflect on facility performance and ensure compliance with healthcare standards. Most importantly, patients and their families will experience reduced pain, improved quality of life, and greater satisfaction with the care provided.
As nurse leaders focus on pressure injury prevention, we understand the value of blending theoretical knowledge with effective leadership. Using transformational leadership, we inspire and motivate our team to pursue our long-term goals, like reducing pressure injuries while promoting a culture of continuous improvement. We also embrace adaptive leadership, allowing us to remain flexible and responsible to evolving needs of our patients. By combining these approaches, we adjust strategies as challenges arise, improve communication, and refine care protocols, ultimately enhancing patient outcomes and fostering a supportive environment for both staff and residents.
To ensure sustainability, the following strategies will be implemented. First is ongoing training. Regular training sessions and workshops will be conducted for staff to keep them updated on best practices and to refresh their knowledge. Second, monitoring and evaluation. Continuous tracking of pressure ulcer rates, compliance with protocols, and feedback from staff and families will be maintained to ensure the program remains effective. Third is staff involvement. Engaging staff in decision making and quality improvement initiatives will foster a sense of ownership and responsibility. Last will be leadership commitment. Leadership will continue to advocate for the initiative, ensuring that resources and support remain available.
Resources required to sustain the change, staff training and education materials, specialized equipment, data tracking system, ongoing funding, and collaborative partnerships.